Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Waterford Cum Clubber Positivity Podcast in collaboration with the YSLC Podcast and Modern Projects Association. My name is Milan, your host for today's episode, and today I'll be joined by...
Fafa. Hi everyone, it's great to be back.
Indeed, it is great to have you back again as a host for this installment for the YSLC viewers. Anyway, so today we'll be talking about moving abroad. So, Fafa, what actually got you to, go out there and move to China?
Well, honestly, it's a really long story. And I've always known that I was going to move abroad for university. But yeah, to sum up, after I did the GD and kind of graduated, it was kind of natural for me to aim to go to China right after. So that was why I chose to come to Shanghai, China. Obviously, I'd like to get more into detail about why that was the reason later in this episode. But yeah, how about you? Like, what made you decide to go abroad?
I mean, for me, right? Like most people, like in Thailand, they would go like, "What, Milan? Why would you go to this random school in Swaziland or Eswatini?" Well, for me, right? Like when I applied to UWC, UWC is no random school. It is where they try to gather people who could become like potential youth leaders and also like potential future world leaders who would come together and do something about what's going on across the world right now. And also like I really love this idea of like, of course, I mean the scholarship was tempting, but like this like idea of us like people coming from across the world and us being able to exchange our ideas in this school while also like trying to like collaborate and see what we can do about like issues that's like not just like those in Eswatini, but also like in our home countries is always something that I find really appealing. Also, like I myself, I already have some experience like moving abroad before when I went to boarding in China. So it's like for me, like I just feel like this is like a really good school for me to like try out these ideas because like I also like really agree with what the school stands for.
Yeah, that's really inspiring. Yeah, I'd say it's like also kind of pretty similar for me. Um, After the acceptance letter, it was like very tempting. Like, okay, I want to ask from your perspective though. Like, you said you've moved abroad before. Do you think the fact that you've done it before, has helped you adjust to moving to Eswatini?
I mean, technically for me, moving abroad isn't really moving abroad. Like, I do have a Chinese citizenship, but then like, it's almost like I'm in a different country. But I would say yes, because like with my experience like boarding in China, I had to learn like some like very crucial skills, like for example like how to like hand wash everything. When, for example, electricity were to go out, for example, that skill was very useful. Especially when I, for example, move here and there, like sometimes it doesn't make sense for you to throw everything into the washing machine. Of course, it's very not environmental. What I also learned from like being in China is like as outside of my responsibilities is to like how to like sit in a room with someone you don't actually agree with at all. When I moved into China, I had like despite me being half Chinese, I have a very westernized perspective of how China is like and how I view the country. And then when I was boarding in China, I had to like exchange my ideals with the students from my school. And then like we were able to exchange how we view about the world, how like their perspective, even though you don't agree with them, doesn't mean that it's wrong. It could be an alternate solution to the issue that you're facing right now. What about you, Fafa? Do you have any experience like this before?
Yes, exactly. Definitely. I agree with your point entirely about the different perspectives thing. I think it's always inevitable that you meet different type of people who, don't really view the world the same way in which you do. Yeah, and now that that is brought up, I think one of the things in which I've learned a lot from moving abroad is, well, I mean, for China particularly, I'm really glad that the people here, even though like you're not able to communicate fully with them, most of them at least like try to understand you and like, um, well, I'm a Thai person, but I'd say I look pretty Chinese, so people often mistake me as like a Chinese person. So I'd be like going at it with them in Chinese, but then mid conversation, I'd be like, "What? 听不懂?" Like I don't understand what they're saying. So I asked them what it is, and I told them that I'm not from China. And yeah, it's always a point in which yeah, most of them would be curious about where you're from, why you're here. I think it's interesting to hear about a lot of their perspectives on Thailand, which is my home country. And yeah, like they're always interested when you're not from the country because they would want to know more. And yeah, I think that is something in which I'm really happy to have exchanged with a lot of them. Like once they learn that you're not from China, it's like this unspoken understanding that, well, I mean, they're kind of nicer to you in a way. Not because like not nicer, but like more of like they're more understanding of you and they try to like go out of their way to help you. At least that is my experience.
I mean, for me, right? Like when I moved to Eswatini, I remember like the amount of issues like I faced traveling here. I had a 20-hour transit in Johannesburg, South Africa. And then like I would say like people from across the world, like what I really love about this is that like no matter like which culture you are from, the people there, like ordinary people, are really kind, and they're willing to like lend a helping hand whenever they can. Like I remember like it was like in January 2024 when I landed in South Africa. Like in those 20 hours I was stuck inside the airport because wasn't allowed to leave. I didn't have the form to leave as a minor. I was able to like talk with like people who own these shops. Some were selling clothes. Some people were telling me where I could go rest, where I could go to sleep, for example. And all like others, they were willing to like lend me, for example, their charger, because like I did not know that in South Africa and in Eswatini they had this like different adapter. So then like I almost ran out of phone battery, and
Yeah,
thankfully I was saved by a bunch of locals. So like that was really amazing, and like that shows like how kind people are, especially like when they see that like you are a foreigner. Also, like what I learned from like moving abroad, like from China, that helped me like adjust to like Swaziland as well, was also like going to China, right? I have already learned how to deal with homesickness, if you get what I mean. So then like when I moved here, right?
that's great.
Yeah, like so when I moved here, like I don't feel as much of homesickness. Like I mean, of course, like everyone would feel a little bit of homesickness when they move abroad. Some may feel a lot, but then like once you spend like enough time, really like once you create the bonds with the people there, be it like adults, kids, strangers, whatever, like once you feel at least somewhat at home, then like that really helps, and like especially if you have prior experience before.
Mm. Yeah, I totally relate. Like, I guess, well, kind of. During the first couple of months for me in which I moved to China, I miss Thailand wholeheartedly. Like, I mean, it didn't hit me quite much until like I guess week 4 or 5. Week 1, 2, 3 were just like, oh yay, I'm finally abroad. It's like my new sense of freedom is gonna be the beginning of a new great adventure. And yeah, well, it still feels that way now. But like during like the 5th or 6th week of me like coming to China, I was like, okay, man, I miss Thailand. I miss like my family. I miss the food. But yeah, I guess like the benefits outlie the cons. So like sometimes like when it's late at night or like there are some moments in which like I just like end up feeling like really really homesick. But then like most of the time I'm just really glad and really grateful that I have the opportunity to spend my 17-year-old life here in China. And well, yeah, it's really an amazing feeling actually. Like there's this there's this new sense of freedom in which you gain from moving abroad, in which the for me, I feel like I'm really happy for. I don't know if it's like the same for you, but like in Thailand, I feel like how I spend my time is more limited. Uh, my circumstances, like family and stuff we have going on. So moving abroad has been like this window of outlet where I guess my 24 hours is more kind of managed by me entirely. Like when I was back in Thailand, there are like these family obligations and stuff. Yeah, and I'm really grateful that moving to China has made me realize that I have this new sense of freedom where I can manage my own time and stuff like that. Yeah. What about you? Is it pretty similar to you?
About like my own time, I would say that like I already have like some freedoms already, like when I was at home, but then like I still relate that like I feel like a lot more free to like decide to do what I want to do with my time, like in terms of like studies, schoolwork, or if I just want to do my hobby. Like I would say like moving abroad here, it's like it's less chaotic and less time strict here. It's like you can like with my
Mm-hmm.
experience here, like people are more flexible, and I think like that's also like because of the fact that like you now run your own life as what you've said before. But then, from what you've said earlier, what I really miss about Thailand is the food. Like, I miss Thai food so badly that I started to cook it so
Exactly.
often, right? That people on campus are asking me to give them my menu so that they could order. So that
Yeah,
was
Thai
fun.
food's the best.
Yes,
Yeah.
although like I'm not sure if you have this in your university, but like for me in UWC, right? Like with like the diversity of the people who come from across the world. Like for example, like I got to try some really nice Ukrainian borscht or something. I cannot pronounce that, but like made by the Ukrainian student this year. I think it was like in March. And then like I was able to try some like I cannot I don't know the name of this, but I also try like some Arab food as well made by my seniors last year, and it tasted amazing as well. Or like the fact that like we have like this yearly cooking competition inside my hostel
Mm-hmm.
where like would have people like I think
Yeah.
like yeah, so like we have people from like across the hostel making food from their home country or their favorite dishes, and then like and then like we get to try, especially if you're a judge, and then like it's like a very fun way for us to have like a cultural exchange. It makes you a little bit less homesick, I would say, but most importantly, there's amazing food all the time.
Oh, oh my gosh, I would wanna cook so much. That is very lucky of you. You get to cook in Eswatini. Like what's your number one go-to Thai dish that you make there?
Um, I would say, let me try to translate this into English. So, the most popular dish that I make here, people love the most, are the most like cliche ones. So, pad kapao, pad thai, tom yum, for example. Like that's what everyone is into here on campus when they ask for me to cook for
Mm-hmm.
them. Although what I love the most is kho mu yang. I think in English it's the what is it? Grilled pork neck. But then I love the nampok version where like you fry it with like vegetables and I think shallots, and then you make it really spicy. It tastes amazing, in my
Wow.
opinion at least. But then like I have
Oh
to
my
see
gosh.
people in my
Homesick.
school dying from the spice level.
Yeah, nah, that is really amazing. When I go back to Thailand this summer, I'd love to cook as well. Like when I was in Thailand, I'd like to help my grandma make meals like pad kapao and like all the generic Thai food. Now here in China, I guess I because like we have a school canteen and like ECNU, like I guess the food is like pretty cheap here. Um, and I mean I like Chinese food, so I don't really get the chance to like cook. I don't even have a kitchen actually. But I mean, there are some people who have brought stuff to like cook in their dorms. I'd love to try that sometime. I haven't had that opportunity though. But yeah, what I've really been missing is like khao niao mong mong, like mango sticky rice. I've tried like several places of like mango sticky rice in China, but like I haven't found a single one that has been like authentic or like on any level in which like the one in front of my the lady in which sells it in front of my condo sells it. Like I haven't found one which is like on par with that yet. I'm hoping to though because I really really like that dish. Yeah, like mango sticky rice here. I guess it's like a different kind of mango sticky rice. It's like very tailored to the Chinese tongue, I'd say. My fellow friends who are from Thailand who are also studying here agrees with me. So yeah, mango sticky rice, that's definitely gonna be on my to-do list when I go back to Thailand. To eat list, yes, when I go back to Thailand.
Oh yes, I do remember. Like when I went back to Thailand for the first term break, like the first thing I did was went to an Isan like restaurant and just devouring the
Oh
food.
yeah.
That's the first thing I did like in the
Wow.
first term break. I did that like every term break. Oh yeah. Speaking about the sticky rice with mango, was it the mango or was it the sticky rice that like did not taste Thai?
Okay, actually both, but more so the sticky rice. Like there's something about the way that they cook it, like there's always like something wrong with it. Like I'm not saying that like something not authentic. It's like the rice isn't uh cooked properly, and sometimes it's like it's supposed to be okay. It's supposed to be somewhat salty as well if it's going to be authentic, but oftentimes it's just like pure sweet. Like so it's not really mango sticky rice. It's more like mango pudding rice, if you get what I mean. Like try to imagine it. Like it's just imagine mango and like rice that's like sweet and tastes like cream. But yeah, like I guess it's good and delicious in a way, but man, I miss the one in front of my condo. Like it is so amazing, that one. I mean I didn't realize that I even liked it at first. Like it's something in which you come to appreciate once you miss it, you know? Like yeah, you miss things when you don't have it anymore. It applies with the mango sticky rice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. For me, this thing I can't make it yet, but then like you know the kayang bang tan, that one, like oh my god, bang tan grilled chicken tastes amazing. Like but then like it's so hard to make because I don't know how to do it. Like that like herb thing. That herb like sauce thingy that they put on the chicken, it tastes brilliant. I don't know how
Mm.
to do it, so it's like I miss it so much. Like every time break I go back, I always ask for it. And like for me, like other like little things that I really appreciate when I move abroad that I don't really have is probably like the fast internet.
Mm.
Because I mean you're in
Yeah.
China, right? So like it's still pretty fast, but then like I would say like it's really quite a privilege to be like especially as Asians because like Asia, East and Southeast Asia has like some of the fastest internets on the planet. So then it's like
Yes, yes. Bangkok internet is like superb compared to like many places.
isn't it like top 5 or something if I remember correctly once?
Yeah, yeah. Like yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's really a privilege to like be able to experience that when I move abroad. Like it's something that like, you know, it's like when it reminds me of like when I was younger, when we still have like when you know 3G was a thing, LTE was a thing where like internet wasn't that fast. It's like maybe it also gives us a
Mhm.
break, you know, especially from like social media and stuff, and then like you get to like appreciate what's there in front of you in real life rather than like you know sitting there waiting for a computer to
Waiting.
download something that takes like 15 minutes. I think like that also like gives you a good
Exactly.
excuse to like to like go out, bond with people where you are, especially. And let me think of like something else that I really that I really appreciate. Oh yes, I mean for me like it's nice that like I'm able to feel it again, but it's like moving here to Swaziland like reminds me of where my mom comes from in China. Reminds me of
Mm-hmm.
poor, like the climate here. It's like it makes me less homesick, and also like it makes me like appreciate like the nature and going out a lot more. Maybe also because like Bangkok is kinda an oven, and like here, like when we have a
Yeah.
diverse range of weather, it's nice. Although there are some drawbacks, like for example, last year where we had like rain and then like 30 kilometer per hour wind at like single digit temperatures, but then mostly I would say it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Fafa, if you
Well,
don't,
I mean,
oh, you go.
the weather here is like raining right now. I guess. Well, currently, I guess I'd call the weather. I describe it as like I call it ADHD. Like it's like kind of changing pretty frequently for me right now. I'm not sure if you can hear the rain outside, but like it's pretty hard right now. Yeah, and I think it's also raining in Thailand. I think.
Yes, and also I relate here on the weather being a little bit like ADHD. Like one day we would have
Frequently
like
changing.
yes, like one like especially in summer. One day you would have like you like I would feel like am I in Isan right now? And then I'm burning from the sun,
Mm,
right? And then the next day it's like
mm.
light rain, really cold winds, and then I'm like, geez, I'm freezing. And then the day afterwards, right,
I
we have
know, right?
thunderstorms, and I'm like, oh dear.
Exactly. Like we don't know what to expect, and I relate highly. Like you described it really well. It's like I don't even know what to wear outside anymore unless I check the weather forecast. You don't know if the when you wake up it's gonna be sunny or rainy or whatever. And sometimes the forecast isn't really accurate. I've actually checked this and compared with I have a Samsung and my friend is an Apple. Our forecasts are different for Shanghai weather, and we don't know which phone to trust when we check the weather on what to wear tomorrow or whatever. So yeah, I keep an umbrella with me. That's a habit in which has been with me since I came here, I guess. Particularly during this time of the year, like you really don't know what to expect. Like the weather just does what it wants.
Yeah, like I mean, for me, right? I made that mistake of not bringing an umbrella here last year, and I regret it. But then this year, I did bring one because like I remembered winter weather from last year. But then like for this year, right? For some reason, there's no rain. Last year was like light rain, cold all the time. This year, no rain, which is a shock. But
Mhm.
yeah. And speaking of like getting adjusted to the weather, right? Like I was it like
Yeah.
how do you like find yourself like adjusting to the place, you know? Like when do you like feel like okay, I'm here now. I am used to it now. I'm not too homesick anymore.
Mm. Well, I mean, like one challenge in which I've really faced is, well, I thought my Chinese was good, but then like when I heard Shanghainese Chinese, I knew that like I had to drastically improve my Chinese. I mean, I was forced to drastically improve my Chinese, and I think that like that's something in which is like both a benefit and at the same time like a struggle because like I think ever since I came here, my Chinese has like improved by a lot. Like I went from like not being able to properly have a conversation with the taxi driver to being able to converse to some degree, letting fooling them into letting them think that I'm Chinese or something. Like I really need to adjust because there are like certain words in which you're not taught from textbook Chinese, in which was what I've been learning for a very long time. So the fact is, you don't properly absorb a language unless you talk to the locals, you know, converse with random strangers. Like I feel like a lot of aunties around here, they like to make conversation with people, like not just me, but like with anyone in general. Chinese people are generally pretty friendly. So yeah, it could be like the most random people, and you just have to have a conversation with them, and then maybe learn a thing or two. What is that like in Eswatini for you?
I mean, I would see like just random people. Like in both Eswatini and South Africa, you're just walking, right? And then like some random security guard or some grandpa or grandma would come up to you, talk to you, and then like like they find it they find it interesting to be able to talk to somebody who's not from their country, and they want to like share their
Mm,
experiences, give some tips and like and tricks as well. It's like like these random acts
Yeah.
of kindness, some random bonds you make, for example. Like for example, like this term break we just arrived in. Like from my flight, I met these like two people from Cape Town. So then, like, we were just talking
Mm-hmm.
from like the moment we deboarded the plane. We were talking about like schooling, for example, where to visit in South Africa, how to stay safe here, for example. So it's like it's really sweet to be able to like like talk to these random people as well. And yeah, like they
Mm-hmm.
always like sometimes just randomly start a conversation with you. Like, I mean, it's like
Exactly.
it makes you feel less homesick, and it's like a really wholesome environment, really. And also like I think this also shows how like when you see like how the media portrays a people or a country, like that entire like perception is destroyed once you're there, because like from what I've seen here, right, it's like people are like I think this is like very universal, that people are kind. Like I think most people are kind. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that like what we see in the media is just a bad perception of that nation and of those people. But then if you were there in person, for example, then like I think people would happily have an exchange with you of ideals, cultures, etc., etc. And like I think like that's like some of the most like
Exactly.
important things that I've learned from moving abroad. So, how do you think like moving abroad has shaped you? How has it changed your personality? Perhaps the people you're with or your habits?
That's a pretty good question, actually. Um, I guess one of the things in which has really improved about myself is my time management skill. As I've kind of mentioned before, there's this new sense of freedom in which you get from moving abroad. So you get to choose how you dedicate the 24 hours of the day in which you get. For instance, back when I was in Thailand, I didn't really get to meditate actually. And this brings me to my second point, which is the people around you really shape who you are. So, when I came to China, I made this really close friend and she started meditating. That resulted in me following in pursuit with her. And now I went from a person who didn't meditate at all to someone who, got into it because my close friend did. And that was like the sole reason. I think who you hang around is really influential towards yourself as well and how you turn out as a person. You're like the average of the five people in which you spend the most time with. So that's like something in which I guess is pretty beneficial, in which I've learned. Um, so yeah, now I meditate again. I feel like I'm a lot more productive as a person since I moved here. I guess there's this sense of responsibility in which kicks in, and it makes you realize that like, okay, whatever your day to day looks like is like entirely in your control. And if it looks bad, it's your fault. If it looks good, then you have yourself to reward. It's like it's no one to blame apart from yourself. And that's really emphasized when you really do move abroad and you go through your day to day life, planning it yourself and living it yourself. um, I try to get 8 hours of sleep on my own, but that has been harder because back when I was in Thailand, there was always someone to remind me. There was always people around me to make sure, that I was eating well, that I was drinking well, getting 8 hours of sleep. In here, you kind of have to remind yourself, and it's like you need to really have that discipline in yourself. That's something in which I also want to get into, possibly maybe in a later episode or something. Like discipline is which something which you like kind of learn from moving abroad. Um, it's something in which I feel like I'm a lot more good at. I'm a lot more consistent with a lot of my habits as well, like working out, for instance. I now try to work out for at least 3 to 4 times a week. I'd say I'm succeeding at that. And I hope that that continues. Yeah, there are days in which I do not want to go to the gym, but it's important for you to like, go even though you're not feeling it. Go even though every muscle in your body says no. I want to stay home. I want to watch some Netflix. Yeah, it's something in which I really had to learn to push myself at and to go even though I don't feel like it. Do you get what I mean? I think you would relate to that to some degree. Like maybe for you. What's your example, Milan? Like, what's your experience with that?
I mean, like moving abroad, like the people around me, like they like for me, I would say like they don't shape me as much as how
Mm.
they've shaped me, but like they still like push me to do like the things that I've always wanted to do in Thailand, but then like I wasn't really able to, or like my past like
Mm.
experiences made me like refrain from doing it. Like for example, like I have like wanted to try for fun, like go into like this some random like theater play, for example. And then there was this, and then like we had this opportunity last year. There was this school play that popped up, so I auditioned, and then I became like the guy that
Mm.
everyone from the show was supposed to hate. But still, like being this
Oh.
like very strict Asian teacher is still fun. Like I get to try out something that
Mm.
like I haven't really tried in a while that I want to do. Like, and also like with that theater teacher, like she also like encouraged me, and also taught me skills on how to try and voice act. I will not do it here because I'm a little bit embarrassed, but then like like just because of that, like those tips and advice, I actually just recorded a few lines for a project that I shall not disclose on some random
Mhm.
on some random project. I just did that like last Saturday night. So then, like, as you can
Mm.
see here, like it's very nice to be able to like get out, like get out there and do things that you want to do as well. Because like I have friends who are there who tells me like like it's okay, Milan, like you can do it here. We won't judge you. And also like that also like got
Mm.
me to like eventually join choir. Like for a while, I've always wanted to do choir, but then like the biggest issue I had with choir is that I think that I don't really belong there until the soprano, soprano, a bass, a tenor, and I think two altos dragged me to the music room,
Mm.
signed me up to choir, and then I was like, okay, I'll be here. And then like that turns out to be something that's really fun as well. Like just to have like these like nice friends who are able to encourage you to do the things you want to do, and then like even like when you are reluctant to do it, sometimes it takes a bit of a nudge, or for me, being coerced to join it, jokingly, of course. So yeah, there's
Oh,
that.
yeah. Well, they're trying to support you and be sweet, which is like really, really amazing. Yeah, having a good support group or like people that push you to do things are like really, really important. Like, yeah, not to just advance in life, but I guess like to your mental health as well. Because like, imagine if you didn't have those friends and those people that brought you to the choir group, right? You would have never tried it. So yeah, that's like really, really something in which I think is really important to have. Yeah, and again, I guess some advice for those of you who are listening to this who maybe are thinking about trying something in which you haven't tried before, like moving abroad, like our topic today, for instance. Well, just go for it. Just take every opportunity in which you can, and yeah, don't no need to care what other people think. It's important that you just like listen to your inner voice and do what you gotta do. You only live once.
Yep, and like also like even if you are finding it hard to move abroad, like for me, when the first time I moved to China, it was really difficult for me to like fit in, for me like to get through it. Just don't give up, okay? Like I want to like I want to also like send this message, like even though like maybe sometimes it's tempting for you to go like I want to go back home, I miss home so much, I can't do this anymore. But then like eventually, once you adjust it, right, like you would eventually fit in, and then you would feel like, hey, it's not too bad. Hey, like there are people who care, and like you're able to be yourself more eventually once you have like adjusted to it. And like even if there are some difficulties, be it, I mean, even if you were to stay in your home country, that would also happen, right? So then like I think like a nice mindset to
Mm.
have while you're abroad as well is like to always think of like, hey, I have come this far already, I will get there, and when I get there, I will look back and say like, this is a really nice chapter of my life. Either that, or you can also have some nice laughs as well with the memories you make from this time of your life as well. So yeah, I mean that would be my
Yeah,
advice. What about yours?
exactly. Exactly. Like moving abroad, it's like always going to be a beginning of a new chapter for anyone. Like it's like you're beginning a new chapter of life, and things are going to be different. You're not going to see the same faces in which you've seen for most of your life. um, the air is going to be different in some cases on a different continent in a different country. It's not going to be what you're comfortable with, it's not going to be what you're used to, and it's not going to be what's in your comfort zone. But that's the point. Like, that's why you moved out in the first place. That's how you really learn and grow, I guess. And I guess I didn't realize how much impact it had on me until I actually did decide to move abroad myself. So I guess that's something in which I treasure dearly. And I'm very grateful that I made the decision to come to Shanghai, China, experience the uncomfortable. Well, eventually you do adjust and it gets comfortable. But yeah, like that's something in which I guess is very universal to people moving abroad. You have to adjust to everything. And that's the point. You learn and grow from that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like just always keep this positive mindset, so that just always remember that, hey, you will get there. And this experience would help you grow as a person, and also help prepare you for if you were to continue staying abroad, or if you were to go back to your home country. Those skills you learn from moving abroad would be very useful, be it just for between you and your friends, that could help you resolve some issues, be it in the workforce, where you have to accept the ideas of people who you don't agree with, people in your company management you might not at first see eye to eye. This could help really improve your relationship and capability to be live there as an independent person, no matter if you were to go back home after you move abroad, or if you were to stay there or go somewhere else.
Exactly. Yeah. Another thing I want to bring up is that you gotta remember to keep in touch with the people in which you're not living with anymore. Like, just remember to always, like, at least check in sometimes with the people you care about back home. I mean, I'm guilty of having certain blocks, certain weeks, certain periods in which I am, too focused on my studies, or just like having living my life in Shanghai, so much so that I don't really have time to connect or really have deep conversations with people in which I'm close to back home anymore. Um, but yeah, I have to remind myself that okay, we still need to talk. We still need to keep in contact to keep the relationship going, keep in with family, with friends, with everyone back home. Yeah, just don't lose connect with them once you do decide to go abroad. Even as amazing as your life abroad is, just always remember that there'll always be people back home who are waiting to hear from you, wanting to talk to you. Sometimes just reach out, um, I recently reconnected with my friend from middle school, in which I haven't really done until I actually came abroad to China. And it's something in which you realize that, well, you two have really changed once you've talked again. And it's a really refreshing kind of feeling to, talk with people back home. Sometimes just reach out and have a conversation with them. It doesn't really take that much energy, it doesn't really take that much time. Just, keep in touch with the people you care about from back home.
Yeah, I do agree, because for me, for example, yesterday, right? Or yeah, was it yesterday? No, the day before. Yes. So on yes, the day before we recorded this session, I had a really long catch up period with an old friend of mine from 5 years ago. Even though we were really close then, even after we reconnected, we're able to see how different we are, and we had quite a nice laugh, remembering all those nice events as well. And I feel moving abroad also makes you yearn for those old connections as well, even if sometimes you forget it, and being able to keep them as well is able to help not just yourself to float mentally, but also remember that friend, whoever you are talking to, just maybe if you even if you just say hello to them, just have a nice friendly conversation with them, could also make their day as well. So yeah.
Mhm. Exactly, exactly. It helps you stay grounded. I mean, we're kind of doing right now, right? Catching up on
Yes.
catching up on what we could have done in person. But yeah, it's important for you to still find chances for you to reconnect, like we're doing in the podcast right now. I'm really glad that we were able to discuss this through a podcast form. Sometimes you could just like send them a text or just like give them a call if you're really close. Yeah, it helps you to stay grounded, and like it really helps with your mental health as well. It helps with missing the country, and like sometimes just being able to talk it out and put it into words has alleviated problems by like over 70%. So yeah, that's what I find myself doing nowadays. Just like if I have a problem, I just talk to people from back in Thailand or even here. It helps with your mental overthinking, I'd say.
I see. Yeah, I really do like agree with that because like I mean, I'll just be quite frank right now. I was stressed with the IB, but being able to talk to like old friends like you here through this podcast, it's a really nice way for us to reconnect. And I mean, of course, you shouldn't just abandon your work. Like obviously, but then like being able to like catch up with friends does like help improve your morale quite a fair bit as well, and also just have a good laugh with someone you care about. So I think that's a really good thing, which is why like I'm really grateful for you being here today for the podcast. But before we close out though, something on a more lighthearted thing, okay? So imagine this, okay? You go back in time, right? Before, say, you moved to China, and then, like, say, before I moved to Eswatini, right? How would you tell that version of you whose flight just landed in the country?
Oh, yeah. How would I tell them what? Like, how would I tell them, like, advice I'd give them, or just like saying hello, talking to them in general?
I would say both. What do you do?
Hmm. I'd say, well, I mean, if you were to talk to myself at that time, I'd be like, okay, yeah. I don't think I would have listened much, honestly. But yeah, if I were to like be able to have a conversation with them, I'd say take every opportunity in which you can, and well, don't worry, everything's gonna work out. Um, and that just I wanted to tell I want if I could go back in time, actually I'd tell myself to take it easier in terms of like having stuff figured out in the first semester or so. When I was in my first semester, a lot of stuff were like kind of like a bit of more chaos than like my life right now. I just tell my first semester self to calm the heck down, and just really know that things are gonna work out in the end. Things are gonna adjust. You're gonna adjust and just experience and just open yourself to new opportunities. How about you?
For me, well, for me, I would like say similar things to myself, but also like I would probably give like that version of me like a few contacts of people who like that younger version of me could go to, so that like he
Oh,
wouldn't
that's
feel
smart.
like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah like because like he wouldn't feel as lost, and then like there's like somewhere that's close to home, but then like what I would say. Not that serious, but I would tell this person where all the Chinese restaurants in Eswatini are.
No, okay, yes. I should have thought of that. Like where the good restaurants are. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah.
I'd also like tell myself about like where all the good startups and entrepreneurial events are. Like myself then did not know any of those. Like I would tell them about all the startups, where to find certain types of people. Yes, that's something I'd definitely tell her.
Mhm. And like an advice that I would give a younger version of myself would probably be like I would just be blunt with them that hey, it's gonna be hard to be here, but then like even if it's like something that seemed impossible at the time, like if you put enough
Mm,
effort to it, it will be possible. You got yourself here in the first place from where you were, right? That is already a feat itself.
mm,
It like from something that people told me that was almost impossible to do. You are here now. Thus, what like come on now. The challenges you face is like
mm,
by moving abroad. It's gonna be tough, but you've already done half of the way of the impossible already. So if you already did half of the impossible, what makes the other half not possible? I think it's still possible. And then you'll be fine. Just that make sure to take some rest and also like always confide with the people who you trust. That's what I would tell a younger version myself.
yes. Yeah. I think a younger version of myself would really appreciate what I would tell her now. At the same time, I feel like myself 1 semester ago, myself 2 semesters ago would have been like, okay, yeah, Fafa, I know that already. Like, just shut up. Like, I know I got this. Um, yeah, I think that's how I would have reacted, honestly.
I mean, probably. I'll be honest, for me too. Although, like, there are times, like, if someone was telling me that, like, back in the past, I would feel like, hey, this is when this would be really nice right now. And then, like, I think that's like what we want you guys to keep in mind as well. Like, like, even though it sounds cliche, when the time comes, it's gonna be important. Just like keep yourself mentally afloat. And yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Your mental health is really important towards maintaining productivity. Like, whether it's if you're doing exam season or like in general, like life, you gotta maintain a good mental health because it's like the bedrock, like the basis of everything. That's what my friend who got me into meditating told me. And it has really helped, like staying mentally afloat, staying mentally calm, and being able to deal with the most outrageous and unexpected news. I guess it's like one of the skills in which I'm really trying to master in life as well. Like the ability to like remain calm and remain mentally afloat no matter what. It's something in which I really want to master during my time here in China. I'd like to think that I'm improving at it. At the same time, I know that I've still got a lot more to improve on.
I see. Well, like it's nice to see like you're able to grow this much. But then perhaps from a more let's see. How about like something less serious now? Just before we conclude. So, from your experience moving abroad, right? How would you rate it out of 10?
Oh, in general, I give it like out of 10. I give it okay, let's just be honest. I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna break this into 2 parts, okay? In
Okay.
terms of like in terms of regrets, okay, 0. I'm absolutely happy and grateful that I moved here. I'm like really happy that I chose China. In terms of like expectations versus reality, I'd give it a okay, I'll give it an 8. Yeah, I give it an 8 because many things here weren't as I expected as it would be, but at the same time, there are opportunities for me to grow as well. So yeah, in terms of that, I give it an 8. I'm knocking points off from it. How about you?
Oof, I mean, considering my circumstances on what I had to let go of coming here, so I would say in terms of regrets, I would put it as like, I mean, I don't know where I could put it out of 10, but then like, there are things where I wish I could have done, but then in terms of like, what I have experienced here, the people I met, for example, right? I would say I would put it as a solid 7 or 8 as well. Like, it's a nice experience, and like probably like 10 years from now, we would look back at like our time abroad, this podcast, for example, and then like, I think like we would like reflect on like how this really helped like shaped us to where we are then. So I feel like it's a good thing that it happened to us. And I believe that like this would be the same for you as well. Just give it enough time, even if you are struggling. All right. So, anything else?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, just like a quick message to those of you who are listening to this and considering, going abroad, whether it's for university, for an exchange program, for summer or whatever. Just go for it. You have all the advice that you're gonna get already. Like you mentally know everything already. Just go for it. Don't worry so much.
Yes, you guys got this. So, anyways,
You guys got this.
yes. So, anyways, I would like to thank you very much, Fafa, for showing up for today's episode.
Thank you.
And also, I would like to give thanks to the Waterford Positivity Podcast team, the YSLC International team, and the Modern Projects Association for making this podcast possible. Remember, guys, stay positive. You guys got this, and see you guys later.
Yay. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.